Good day, viewers, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Social League. My name is Madeline Gassis, and I will be your moderator for today's panel discussion. So on today's panel discussion, we are going to be talking about entrepreneurship amongst our youth. But before we do that, stay tuned for our daily promo ad. Welcome back, viewers, and thank you so much for staying tuned. So like I mentioned before our ad, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship in the youth. So I just want to read you guys a little something. So leaders are those who connect the dots. Equally, youth entrepreneurship in Namibia will be driven by the young minds who have the ability to connect dots. So today on our panel discussion, I have three lovely panelists that are going to be joining me and dissecting, youth entrepreneurship, their experiences with it, and so on and so forth. So would you kindly introduce yourself? We can start with you, CJ.
Sure. Thanks for having me. My name is CJ Dumeni. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Chomi. We launched Namibia's first food delivery app, and I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. My name is Mola Shikongo and I'm the owner of MJ Creations.
Thank you for joining us.
Good day, viewers. My name is Pinya Shikulo, founder of Great Vintage Connection.
Okay, so Zuluba, I'm actually going to start with you. Okay. I'll go with the name that we all know.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to start your business? Also just give us a bit of a background on, because maybe there are people who aren't familiar with what you do in your business. So just give us a bit of a background on your business and then what inspired you to start this business.
We started in 2018. The whole idea was first, I loved socks, just normal socks, colorful socks. And then from an event, I met up with a partner, and then we decided of what do we want to do differently, and then we started off with the socks. The whole idea is to create a story through the brand, so which means our socks have different stories and pictures, so that when you wear it, we want you to feel part of it. And then also the term query, back in the days, it has two terms. When we did our research was the cholera fighters back in the days were plant fighters, so they're called queries. So, and also they being in society, we are not so cool. We are called the query. So it was just a thing of uniting people, and that's the whole message we have is uniting people in a different way. So that's the more of how we operate on a basis. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
We started in 2019. We basically started off with cell phone covers because the aim was actually to get money for transport for school. So and then we started expanding, and now we do necklaces, we do bracelets, we do a lot of things, which is now we expanded. But the aim was just to get funds. That's how we started off with MJ Creations.
And now things are just popping.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. Chomi launched in January 2020, a few months before lockdown. It was actually a result of a failed idea that we had in South Africa. We wanted to create an app just to help students to get some extra money, and the idea was that you would hire Chomi to do something for you. So that's where we got the name from. Hire Chomi to deliver a package, move a product, or babysit or something, and the students would be Chomis there. Worked on it for a few months, then no one came. Absolute failure. And then I came back to Namibia, and I remember just being at work, and just there was nowhere where you could find food menus or just trying to see what's available out there. So then I got the idea of Chomi Bites. And then, yeah, we just changed the software that we had before, and then it's six weeks later, we launched Chummy Bites. And then since then, it's been growth and growth. I guess it's been good timing for us during the time of the lockdown.
Yeah.
A few months before lockdown happened, so people had to order from home. But yeah, I think it's a good space to be in, especially regarding online and e-commerce. I think it's going to be interesting conversation in Namibia. So yeah, great to be a part of it.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. So I think we all know that, like, you know, it's easy to think of, oh, I want to start this business, I want to do this, I want to do that. You can even have the perfect business plan, but when you don't have funds, it makes things so much more difficult.
Correct.
So I'll start with you, CJ. Like, how did you raise funds to start Chummy Bites?
So it's a challenge. Raising funds is a hard conversation, but when I give people advice, I always tell them the reason why you need funds is because you generally need people. And I think it also ties in with Zulu's story. One partnership can help you not need that much money. So for us, we were lucky enough to know a few restaurants. And the software that, like I told you, the software that we had before, we sort of just shaped it to work for us. So we actually started with absolutely no money. And we built everything time on time by with our profits. But yeah, I would say if you don't have access to funds, look for partnerships, look for people. I think that's a key part of it. But eventually businesses are going to need money. That's the thing. Yeah. So it gets to that point. You can zula for a while, but it gets to that point where you need money. So we happened to just raise money recently, and it was through a Namibian who's actually based in the US. So him and his business partner decided to invest in us. Yeah.
Oh no, great stuff.
Yeah.
AJ.
We started off with 250,
Wow.
and that 250 was what we started off to make the cell phone covers, so we can, expand. So we started with the 250, and then we used that one cell phone cover. We took like dozen of pictures just to advertise, and that's from there. That's when we started getting funds. But we started off with nothing, literally, just that one 250, and that's how we became MJ.
Oh wow.
I think I can relate to the team here. Is we also just started with from our pockets. As CJ said, it's the people that came to support the brand. I think the first week when we launched the socks, I think 2 days we sold out. It was 200 pairs. And then we're looking at ourselves like, what is going on here? What's going on? People literally wanted to fight us, yo. So I think it's the support and the momentum. So later on, it kept on building. As CJ said, there's no funds available when you start, but there's partnership. We're also fortunate that we've worked with big companies that came on board to support initiatives. We have also tried to support other initiatives. So it's more of a collaboration when you're a small business, and everybody's stressing about funds, but you need to start somewhere. I think we need to. If people want to believe and see the vision that you have, you need just to do the work, put in the work. It's going to be a hustle, it's going to be a gamble. You need to knock on those doors and, but it's going to work.
Oh, wow, thank you. And very inspiring words. You spoke about hustling and gambling. So I really want to tap into the challenges that you face, when starting up a business. I don't think it's easy at all. I don't think having your own business, trying to reach that point where you see yourself being eventually, I don't think it's an easy process. So what are some of the challenges that you faced with your business?
Challenges number one is money. Keeping the money.
Yes.
Keeping that money, because you have to have that understanding. If I just remove $1 from whatever I'm selling, then I'm already going down. So challenge is keeping the money, making sure you are consistent also, and also just focusing on yourself, because sometimes we end up starting up a business. Probably I see what MJ is doing, then I'm like, she's doing well, ne? I want also to do what she's doing. You see, then you are shift away from your plan. So that is always the challenge. So it's always sticking to what you want to do. And trust me, it doesn't work out all the time. As CJ said, from a failed project to a successful project, you always have to keep constant and just focus on yourself. So I think that's more of the challenge.
Okay, MJ?
For me, COVID was a very big challenge because I shoot my stuff. So when lockdown came, everything was just so delayed. So my biggest challenge is the delays, because once a parcel is delayed, the clients become stressful. And they'll be like, oh, maybe she's a scam. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So also the delays, that's my biggest challenge.
Mm.
Other than that, everything is fine.
Okay.
Just delays because we want to give something to the client, but then we have like we can't do anything at all because everything is like locked.
Mm-hmm.
So we just have to wait.
Is it? Okay. Do you face like a lot of challenges with like very difficult clients who don't want to understand that, you know, maybe customs is a problem?
Yes, we do most of the times. Like before when like I think at the beginning of the year and last year at the end, everything was just a bit slow because now the planes are only flying essential goods.
Okay.
So they won't take your stuff serious now.
Okay.
So it will be a bit difficult, and then clients will be like, "Oh, we're waiting." Just like, "Oh, we just have to wait." And then when we get here, it's customs again. So yeah,
I
we
can
get those
imagine.
as well.
I can imagine. CJ?
Yeah, I mean, running a business is challenging from the set, I think. But I think I also have to reiterate what Zulu was saying. I think the number one challenge, I think, will probably be believing in yourself and the idea of like actually trusting your idea and your vision. I think a lot of people will come give you different advice and do certain things, and you have to kind of zone out and listen to your gut, because I
Yeah.
think you're the only one who will be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be able to sell socks like Zulu does, you know. But that's why he's in that industry, right? So challenges in that sense. Money, obviously, managing money. I think that's a big lesson we had to learn as well.
Yeah.
You get some revenue and stuff that's coming in, and then just managing it is a big part of it. And also finding the right people. I think you need to partner with it. You can't do it alone. There's no business you can run alone. So getting the right people and more people you can trust. I think those are generally the basic types of challenges that you would face.
Okay. I also don't want to paint the picture that, you know, starting a business is everything. Like, I don't want to push everything to the negative side. I do believe that there are good things about starting your own business, you know, doing your own thing. So what are the best parts about having your own business for you?
Well, for me, I thought I was a terrible employee. I've always been a creative person, and I think for me the things that I value is freedom, being able to create something yourself, and you know it's yours. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Getting your $50 something that you created and you decided you're going to do it this way, and someone valued it enough to give you that amount. I remember I made a delivery when I started. I was doing deliveries, I was calling restaurants, I was doing everything, right? And I remember someone tipped me $50, and that for me was like the most valuable $50 I've ever got in my life. It was like this person paid for the service, and they still felt it was valuable enough to give me an additional $50. And I just left corporate. I had like a nice job, I was getting a nice salary, but that was the most meaningful thing for me. So I think it has to do with the type of person you are, but it also gives you a lot of flexibility. You learn a lot, and yeah, if you see yourself being an entrepreneur and a business person, the lifestyle will just line up with you. You know? And I think so I think that's why it makes a lot of sense for me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
MJ.
I love seeing clients happy. It brings so much joy when they're like, "Oh, this is so nice." Or like, "Wow, my partner loves this." Oh, "Wow, my sister loves this." It motivates me every day to see a client that's happy, because it makes me feel like, okay, I'm doing something right, or we are doing something right. I personally believe in motivation from clients, because without them, literally, I don't think we can go anywhere.
Yeah.
So my best experience is just seeing my clients happy.
Beautiful.
For me, it's the stories around every day and the conversation around. As I said, we set our brand not only to go out there, but also to create conversation. Because, for example, if I go in the communities when I do community work, and we have this whole conversation, it's so, you get so ideas and you get so much from the people. So that's why we try to send our brand so that we are able to communicate with whoever it is, whether you have the money or you don't have the money. So I think the best part of it is the conversation, where you really, really understand people from wherever they tell you different stories. So that's why most of the time, some people mostly relate to the brand, and they're like, "Oh, I feel part of this brand," and that's mostly our key element of the brand. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I believe that it takes very good qualities.
Yeah.
First of all, to start up your business, and second of all, to keep it going. So I think you can speak about it from your perspective from your own business perspective. So what do you think are the qualities that you have that helped you get to the point where you are today?
I think it's being me, being myself. When growing up, people were always asking, why do this guy wear this? Why does this guy have tanga like this? So I think being you helps you a lot because you identify as different and it helps you as a person, and it just motivates you. If I'm someone else, then my day is gonna be a bit funny and shaky. But if I be in my element, trust me, I'm gonna do fireworks. So I think what helps me a lot is just being myself and understanding myself and not worried what other people really think, because in life there are always people that are gonna be judged and always think, why are you doing this? So I think loving yourself is the best thing you could ever do.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
MJ.
I think for me is patience and believing in myself. I need to be patient. I need to put myself in a client's footsteps in order for me to tackle every single challenges. So I love being patient, and I believe in myself. Even if it's a downfall, I'll just be like, okay, if it's a downfall, I need to stand up. Because if I'm down and I don't stand up, it means that I will fail.
Yeah.
So all the challenges that I've received, I always tell myself, you know what, let me push myself. So that's how it has been working for me so far. And so far it's good.
Okay. CJ.
Yeah, I think a big one is I think you have to be optimistic. I think you genuinely have to believe in some way that things will work out and not think every time something goes wrong, my business is over. You know, I think you have to constantly believe that things are going to work out and you're gonna pull through and it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think my people skills, I think that played a role because it helped me navigate certain situations where I needed, for example, cash or something like that, but able to get a partnership instead or something in that kind of sense. But I think the entrepreneur route is also quite challenging in the sense of, you have to, as what they said, you have to almost be delusionally focused on yourself. Like you really have to almost bank on yourself, because if you don't think you're in the place to be able to make it, you're not gonna. So you have to sort of really get into yourself and understand who you are and bank on that. I think that would probably be the defining factor. If you genuinely don't believe in yourself, I don't think you'll make it.
Yeah.
You have to sort of, like I said, be delusional a little bit and be, some might be narcissistic or whatever, but it's not really the case. It's just that you have to think you're enough. You have to think you have what it takes, because no one else is gonna be convinced if you want.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Also, like, how are you gonna convince other people to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's an important part, and I think that's why we all mentioned it, because it's really an important part of it.
Okay, I'm getting a lot of advice here, guys. All I have, like, the closest thing that I have to starting my own business is, I think during lockdown, I started doing nails.
Okay.
I started doing nails, and then since then, I've been doing my own nails.
Yeah.
I've been doing my own nails. I saved that extra $300, every month, and it just goes in my pocket, or I reuse it for something else, or I invest it back into the business. So there's a lot of things that I can relate to that you guys are mentioning here. So lastly, I actually wanted to ask, so what advice would you give? You can even give it to me. What advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs in Namibia?
I have a set. Like, I've figured it out. I've thought about it a little bit, and I think the first thing is, as you mentioned, it was a good question that you asked. You don't need money; you need people.
Yeah.
First thing you don't need money. Don't stress too much about the money. Try and get one partnership, one person. Try even could convince someone about the idea. Someone will be willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
You know. And also, everyone has their opinion, but the market decides. Okay, so everyone will tell you, this is what I think, this is what I think. But until you get your product out there and actually get people to look at it and feel it, you won't have a real idea of what the market says. So some people might not believe in your product, but as soon as you put it out there and you sell out, the market says what the market says. You know?
Yeah.
So I think those are the two things that I would say you would look at. And also, third one, no one knows what they're doing.
Yeah. True.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't be intimidated.
Yes.
Us sitting right here, we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're figuring it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
You know? And I think it's a thing that everyone sort of thinks, yo, that person has it all figured out. It's Their business is thriving. Every day they just have a plan and I don't know what to do. I promise you on a daily basis, we're just figuring it out. We're just tweaking it and changing it. And we get things wrong, we get things right. But we're just figuring it out.
Yeah.
So I think if you take those 3 things, you should be okay.
Thank you.
For me, is believing and don't let anybody break you down. Because once you let people break you down, then it also break your business down. Believe in yourself. Little achievements should be celebrated, no matter how small it is. Even if it's 1 client today, this week, and then next month you only get 2. Celebrate about it, because those things will boost your esteem so high, and it will be like, oh yes, at least I got 1 client. Someone believes in me. Then 1 client can go and tell another client, and then another client go tell another client. So no, believing, never give up, and just be true to yourself.
Gratitude is very important. Zulu?
My advice is, whether it's to entrepreneurs, as being yourself, believe in yourself. As we said, it's not rocket science. So you need to understand who you are first. To look yourself in the mirror every day and say, am I really doing the best thing? And also just believing in yourself and asking for questions if you don't understand, and trying to socialize with like-minded people, because it also helps you and boosts you, because in business you need to learn 1 or 2 things.
Yeah.
No one is perfect, so it's an everyday thing that you need to understand. So I think,
Yeah. Oh, wow, guys. I think that from this discussion, I got a lot of fruitful information, a lot of wise words. I didn't know some people were so philosophical. But that is it for our panel discussion today. I would like to thank all our viewers who tuned in today, and I would also love to thank the 3 panelists who joined me in studio today. I am so grateful, and I think that there are people who are going to watch this and gain something, some sort of knowledge. Maybe this is all they needed to hear for them to, push forward in their business. So thank you so much for joining me here. That is it, viewers, on today's panel discussion. I will see you guys next week, same time, same place.